Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. There is a story that may seem simple at first, a trip, a few posts, and several small details that might mean absolutely nothing. But when the names Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe appear in the same conversation again, somehow, everything feels different. Because for fans who have been following their journey for a long time, sometimes it isn't a major confession that makes them stop and wonder. It's the little things. A moment. A certain atmosphere. A song. A post appearing not too long after another post. And this time, fans' attention has once again turned toward Tian Xiwei after her recent travel-related activities sparked curiosity among fans. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Tian appeared to be enjoying her time, taking part in travel activities, and sharing moments that felt calm and personal. There was no dramatic statement. No shocking announcement. No confirmation about who might have been accompanying her. But then, fans started noticing something. Some began connecting Tian's trip with Zhang Linghe. And suddenly, one question began to emerge. Could this really be just a coincidence? Or, is there something we haven't seen yet? Before we go any further, there is one important distinction we need to make. What the public knows is that Tian Xiwei has been involved in travel-related activities and continues to attract attention through her professional life. Zhang Linghe also has his own public activities, which fans have been observing and comparing with Tian's posts. But so far, there is no evidence confirming that the two traveled together. There has been no official confirmation that Tian's trip was connected to Zhang. And perhaps, that is exactly what makes this story so fascinating. Because when there is no clear answer, the space for questions becomes even bigger. It all began with something that seemed completely ordinary. Tian Xiwei. A trip. Simple moments that fans began viewing in a very different way. To some people, she was simply an actress enjoying her time away. But to other fans, every little detail felt like part of a puzzle. They began comparing the timing of posts. They looked at the atmosphere. They paid attention to visible locations. They remembered older posts. And then, Zhang Linghe's name appeared again. This is where the fandom became interested once more. Because this isn't the first time fans have noticed what they believe could be a coincidence between Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe. Previously, attention was also drawn to several posts from the two that fans believed contained certain similarities. There was a moment when Tian shared a nighttime atmosphere. Then, not long afterward, Zhang shared a moment that made fans compare the two. There was music. There was a certain atmosphere. There was a small gesture. There were details that might mean absolutely nothing to an ordinary viewer. But for fans who have become accustomed to watching their interactions closely, those tiny details can suddenly feel enormous. And this is where the story begins to change. It's no longer simply about a trip. It's no longer just about one post. Instead, it becomes a question that keeps coming back. Is all of this really just coincidence? Or are fans seeing something that has actually been right in front of them? Interestingly, there has been no official statement saying that Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe traveled together. There has been no statement saying that one post was created in response to the other's post. There has been no confirmation that a particular song was chosen as a hidden message. And there is no solid evidence that can turn fan theories into facts. But this is where something happens that feels, to many people, almost like a shocking confession. Not a confession from Tian. Not a confession from Zhang. But a confession from the fandom itself. That they are still watching. They are still noticing. They are still remembering. And whenever these two names appear close together in a story, that curiosity comes alive again. As if a small piece of the past suddenly appeared right in front of them once more. Wait, could this really mean something? Questions like that began filling fan conversations. Not because they had the answer, but because they didn't. And sometimes, that kind of uncertainty is exactly what makes a story so difficult to forget. Fans began comparing different details. Some believe that everything is simply a coincidence. After all, two celebrities with busy schedules can easily post content with similar atmospheres. They can visit similar places. They can use the same song. Even posts uploaded close together in time do not necessarily have any connection. And that argument makes perfect sense. But there is another side. Some fans feel that too many small details have appeared to simply ignore them. They aren't saying those details are proof. They're simply asking, why does it keep happening? Why do their names keep appearing in the same conversations? Why does every tiny detail immediately remind fans of their chemistry? Why can one simple trip suddenly reopen so many old theories? And the biggest question: are fans discovering a pattern? Or are they creating a pattern because they want to see a relationship they have loved for so long? This is perhaps the most fascinating part of the Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe story. Because their on-screen chemistry left such a strong impression. When two actors can make audiences believe in the relationship between their characters, the line between what happens on screen and what fans hope for can sometimes become very thin. And when those two actors appear again in news stories or posts that seem to be connected, those old feelings can return within seconds. One photo, one video, one song, and suddenly, everything becomes a topic of conversation again. But there is something we have to remember. Tian Xiwei has a private life. Zhang Linghe has a private life too. Not everything they share publicly is a secret message. Not every coincidence is a code. Not every similarity means they are together. And perhaps, that is the most human part of this entire story. Fans want to believe. Fans want to find an answer. Fans want to see something bigger than a coincidence. But in the end, reality still requires evidence. And until that evidence appears, all we can do is ask questions. Not make conclusions. We can observe. Not accuse. We can enjoy their chemistry without turning theories into facts. And then comes the part that makes this story feel even more emotional. Imagine if, one day, one of them actually gave us an answer. Not a rumor. Not a theory. Not a fan analysis. But a direct statement. Imagine if Tian Xiwei herself said that the trip really was just an ordinary trip. Or, on the other hand, imagine if Zhang Linghe someday revealed something that made all those old coincidences suddenly look completely different. What would happen? Would the fandom be shocked? Would every theory collapse? Or would fans simply say, "We knew something was there"? But that day hasn't come. For now, all we have are pieces of public information, posts that fans have noticed, and theories that continue to evolve. And perhaps that is exactly why this story feels so fascinating. Because there is no definite ending. Not yet. Tian Xiwei's trip may truly have been nothing more than an ordinary trip. Zhang Linghe's activities may have absolutely nothing to do with her. The similarities fans have noticed may genuinely be coincidences. But on the other hand, we also cannot ignore the fact that fans have noticed something that made them curious all over again. And that curiosity itself has now become part of the story. So, could Tian Xiwei's trip really be connected to Zhang Linghe? For now, there isn't enough evidence to say yes. But did fans find something that made them start asking questions again? The answer is clear. Yes. And perhaps the more interesting question isn't, are Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe secretly together? Instead, why do fans keep seeing a connection between them? Because sometimes, a fandom connection isn't built from just one event. It's built from memories. From chemistry. From scenes that once made viewers smile. From little moments that fans continue remembering long after a drama has ended. And when two people who once had such strong chemistry appear in the same story again, those feelings can return instantly. Without warning. Without an announcement. without a single word. So now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Tian Xiwei's trip is really just a coincidence? Or is there a particular detail that makes you feel this connection is still worth watching? Are you seeing a clue? Or simply a coincidence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And most importantly, remember to separate what we actually know from what remains a theory. Because perhaps one day, the real answer will finally come. And when that day arrives, we may look back at all these little moments in a completely different way. For now, let's leave the question open. Could Tian Xiwei's family trip really be linked to Zhang Linghe? Or are fans simply seeing a connection because they still believe there is a story waiting to be told? One thing is certain. The story surrounding Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe has not stopped attracting attention. And perhaps it is this very mystery that keeps fans waiting. Until the next video.